Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is MissyMaroon here, and I have another book review for you, as is per tradition, because if you don't know, I like to come out with a book review every month. And this month I am reviewing Cruel Beauty, which you may recognize from my 2014 favorites. This is by Rosamund Hodge, and this is what it looks like. So if you can't tell from the fact already that it was in my 2000, excuse me, how rude. If you can't tell already from the fact that it was in my 2014 favorites, I really liked this book. I read it in one day, as I said in my favorites video. I read it on Christmas Day because I got it Christmas Day, and I had been eyeing it up online for a couple of months, and so I had just finished Howl's Moving Castle, which was the book I reviewed last month. We'll have that linked down below, as well as the playlist for all the book reviews I've done. Anyways, but I had just finished reading that book earlier that day, and I was like, well, I need a new book, and I need to make the most of my winter break where I'm not distracted by homework and sleeping to catch up on the sleep I don't get during school time. So I read this book instead, and at first I was like, okay, I can put it down after just a couple of chapters, like, just get your way into there and stuff, then like, put it down, go eat, take a nap, do something, you know. No, that didn't happen. I filmed my video after opening my presents of what I got for Christmas, and, like, read this book, and I was off. And, I couldn't put this book down. It was so good. And also it's one of my more favorite types of books because, it's set in a different world and stuff. Although, I don't know, it's technically set in our world, but it feels like it's set in a different world because it has magic in it. But so it's a little bit of a more fantastical setting. I love those books. And it's a Beauty and the Beast story. This is very lightly based on Beauty and the Beast, I think. But it's that classic Beauty and the Beast story where it's like this beautiful girl, because of a deal her father made, is sent to either marry, well, in this case marry, but in other cases like just to live with this person who is hideous on the outside and is very rude and just mean, but then slowly falls in love with him. And yeah, so this book is awesome. It's set in not quite Greece, it's like an island just off of Greece, but they follow Greek mythology in this book. So it's set a couple thousand years ago, even though I know it is a couple thousand years after, like, the fall of classical Greece. I'm not really sure about the timing of this book. It's a little bit confusing. And there's, like, this weird, like, parchment globe bubble thing covering the world, and it was put there by the Demon King, and everyone is trapped. They have been for quite some time now, and like they don't have real sun or real like anything, honestly, and it's a very like trapped world that just nobody is really enjoying. And everyone goes to the Demon King and makes deals to get these certain things done, but then obviously because he's the Demon King, he always has this little twist with it, and it's always it's a little bit interesting to see how he does it, because it's like he does stick to his word. There's a scene where it comes up, I think in the first 100 pages or so, where you see that happen, where it's like, well, you know, he's sticking to his word. Anyways, and it's very interesting, because not all of the ideas are very classical Grecian. Some of the ideas that the society uses and like some of their tools and stuff seem to be pulled, I'd say from as early as the 18th, maybe 17th century, so it kind of mixes around with history. I mean, obviously, because it's messing around with a whole little island and stuff, but it's like, it pulls from different spots in time where a little bit of me was like, oh my gosh, why are you doing that? And so because I love history and I want to be like an anthropologist when I'm older. But it was so interesting. I loved the world building that this author character took. She did a lot of really good like world building and describing the castle and the architecture, which a lot of authors don't do, because that's a little bit more difficult to do, and it kind of can get into like just some minutia that is boring for some people. But like personally in this book I wasn't bored with it like I sometimes am with other books. Yeah, and so the main character of this book, her name is Nyx, and she is a twin. Her twin sister, does it say her name? I don't remember her twin sister's name, but she has a twin sister, and her dad and her mom, like, they've been married for a couple of years, and they just, like, could not have a kid and stuff, and it was really bringing them down. So the dad goes to the Demon King and makes a deal that, like, to have children and stuff, and he says that if he gets twins, and they're girls, I think, then one of them gets to marry the Demon King. And so the Demon King's like, okay. And so then Nyx and her sister are born shortly after the mom dies, and their aunt comes to live with them and kind of train Nyx in how to kill the Demon King once she is married to him, because there's this whole like secret society and they use magic, and they're kind of like the main producers of magic. It's a little bit confusing about exactly what they are. So like on the outside they're like a magical school, but then on the inside they're really just trying to take down the Demon King and kill him and release themselves from the parchment sky. And so Nyx has become their destined assassin because she's the oldest of the two. And yeah, and so she goes and she gets married to the Demon King, and her mission is to kill him, but obviously because it's a Beauty and the Beast tale, she falls in love with him. Not going to go into much more detail than that, just because I feel like that would totally give the book away. I could kind of, like, there's some plot points where I could see it coming and stuff. I won't share what those are just because I don't want any spoilers, because I know some people don't like those. But some of it I was able to guess it a little bit, but I mean, I like to look for these things in books. Like, it's my favorite thing to guess kind of how it's going to end. But it's really, really good. Oh my goodness, I loved this book. It starts out a little bit racy, with, I guess, more of a suggestion of being like, whoa, like, scandalous. I was kind of like, dang it, do I have to, like, return this book? Like, but it never got to the point where I was uncomfortable, more than just that initial, like, ooh, and stuff. So I would definitely say that this is more of a mature book. I would suggest maybe wait until you're 14 or so to read this book, just because it is a little bit more mature, but it's never, like, bad. It's never inappropriate and stuff. Like, there's some points where it kind of borderlines, and you're like, oh, no, don't go there, please don't go there, I don't want to stop reading you, and then, but it always pulls away from there, and it keeps it clean, so that's good. I don't really remember much swearing in this book, so if that's something that you have issues with, where you just don't want to read swearing in books like me, then you might really appreciate this book. I think lots of people would love this book. It's amazing. If you love Beauty and the Beast stories, like family opera stories, this is your type of book. It's going to be just right up your alley. You're going to love it, and yeah, I would give this book a 8.5 out of 10. It ranks really highly up there. I'm going to put it on my shelf of honored books, which I keep over there in the distant, I guess it's right for you, where you can't see, but I have up on my wall some shelves, and that's where I put some of my favorite books besides the Harry Potter series, because that would make the shelves fall. Anyways, I can't think of anything else to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week. And check the down bar for any links down below, such as to past 2 videos, the playlist for book reviews, and just anything else I might have put down there. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!